Hey guys, welcome back to Boost Banner Racing. Okay, this video today is just for the Chrysler owners. So on this 2015 Chrysler that we have an oil leak that is apparently pretty common. It's been leaking oil for quite a while and it's getting worse and worse. So today we're gonna go through trying to change this oil cooler, which is on top of the motor on the 3.6 Pentastar motor. It's in Chryslers, Jeeps, and Chrysler 300s, Chrysler 200. It's right in between the valve covers under the intake manifold, right in the valley. So it's a little oil cooler, and from factory they come plastic, so of course you're going to have a lot of issues. Well, today we're going to go through just replacing that, and we're going to replace it with this aluminum one that we ordered. Hopefully this will solve the issue with it cracking or breaking and the seals not staying in place because the plastic is warping. So right here we have all the tools that we should need, should need to change this oil cooler. So impacts, they make it a lot easier, save you a lot of time. You need a 10 millimeter, and I'm pretty sure you need a deep well. You're going to need an 8 millimeter. You're going to need a 13 millimeter wrench. I like the ratcheting type, it makes it easier, save you some more time. And a 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench. And one of these little plastic fastener push-on pullers. Should save me some time too. And this helps get those the little pin that pushes those plastic fasteners in. It pops it out. So, and you're going to need one of these set of pliers here. We got to drain the coolant out before we get started on pulling the oil cooler, because it runs the coolant through the oil cooler. So whenever you get ready to replace it and you pop it out, break those seals, all the coolant's going to come out, mix with the oil. We're going to try to prevent that. Probably going to have to end up changing the oil, because we're probably going to get some coolant residue going down in those oil jackets. So you're not going to want that in your oil, because it can mess up your bearings and cause all kinds of issues. So we might have to end up changing the oil anyway. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we got all our tools. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So I don't know if I went over having a 19 millimeter impact socket, if you're going to use the impact, to get these lugs off. Move this wheel. This is going to give us access to the water pump hose. Go grab my other little impact. Got to pull this fender, this inner fender, kind of loosen it up to where you can pull it back. Alright guys, so this fender right here will give us access to the water pump, and it has the hose that goes there. We're gonna pull that clamp and let as much coolant drain out as we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. These are all 8 millimeter. 10 millimeter down here. And now for these plastic little push pins. They're really tough. Some people call them booger bears. This whole deal here will flip out of here. And you'll have access over here. Right here is where we're going to take off. But before we do that, we got the undercover to take off. So we'll get to that. So here's the undercover. This needs to come off. It's got all these 10 millimeters that are such a pain to get to. But we're going to take all these off, take this undercover off so we don't soak this thing in coolant and oil. There's 3 in the very back here. So we got all these out. We're going to get this cover out of the way. We're going to take this water pump hose off. Hopefully that will drain enough fluid down and we can start on the oil cooler. Kind of a tricky camera angle. Trying to do this without making a huge mess, but sometimes you gotta make a mess. Okay guys, so we're going to start tearing it apart from the top. Get the intake off of there, cold air intake. And it's all these 8mm. You gotta take all these out. And then this 10mm. Almost lost that one. Right here, gotta come out. Make it more easier and make them just out of the way. So yeah, these are the two 10mm holding the top of this intake on right here. I want you to see that that's where they go. Yeah. See some more light on that. See that. Alright. There's another 10mm over here. See that right there? And then there's 13 down here. Right here. Yeah, it's really tight down in there. But we're just gonna break this off. take these harness off. That way you can get this intake all the way out of the way. Oh. Alright, so you take the intake, set it out of the way. So all those bolts that hold the intake, plenum I guess it would be called, because it's on top of this, which is really the manifold. This is going to distribute the air that comes from that intake, which is the plenum. This will actually distribute it to the cylinders. So now we got to take this guy off. You gotta pop these little red tabs up. They are such a pain. Some more of these 8mm. There's more. Yeah. This little thing's gotta come off. On. Oh, hooked on this guy. Okay, get this guy out of the way. So, as you see here, here's the oil cooler. And there's oil all down in those tiny little crevices around it. And it's like pulled up. It's like full of oil down there. So whatever leaks on this plastic housing, whether it's seals or cracks or warping or whatever, it causes it to leak, and it actually runs down, gets on the exhaust, burns, smokes, causes a lot of issues. So we got to take these harness off. It's another deal. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these off. Pop that back. That one came easy. This one backwards. But it's still pretty decent. Decently easy. Okay, guys. So there's some more tools that you do need. I'm finding out once you get to the oil cooler. I thought I had everything I needed. So in addition to that 8mm, you're gonna need one of these female torque sockets, and you're gonna need an EP8. I don't know if you can see that. EP8. That's the size you're gonna need to get the bolts holding the oil cooler down to the valley. There's 5 of them, so I had some, but they didn't get that small. So, and these are very expensive. I have to go ahead and tell you that. This small set here at O'Reilly's is about $31. So, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than taking this to the dealership or wherever you would get your oil cooler changed. But keep that in mind. All right, so let's continue. All right, like I said, there's 5 of these bolts that I got to take off here. Let's see if draining the coolant did anything for us. Yes, it did. So that's what you guys need to do, is drain the coolant. All right, so gonna remove this coolant hose right here. Try not to make that splash, but okay, guys, so here's the oil cooler. It's not stock either. I mean, it is stock, but it's not the original. We already replaced this once under warranty. I mean, the car right now only has 80,000 miles on it, and this is going to be the second oil cooler that has to come out of the car. Hopefully going to this all aluminum one will solve the issue that we're having. The only thing I can see is this O-ring over here looks a little wonky. This little seal. But other than that, I don't know why this thing has such a massive oil leak. But we're gonna try to turkey baster all that oil that's on top out and try to clean that area up. Throw this one on there and finish it up. Okay, so we're gonna try to soak this stuff up. You see, it's quite a bit of oil. It gets trapped in these little valleys. All right, I think I turkey bastered as much as I can turkey baster. So let's try to throw that out. Should have got some more carburetor cleaner and brake cleaner when I was out. So I plugged the holes with some microfiber so I can try to clean this. As well as I can. All right. That's about as good as I can get it. And important to note that draining the water pump, that hose that goes to the water pump, makes a huge difference. If I would have left all that water in there, when I pulled this, it would have mixed everywhere. It would flush this whole thing with coolant, and it would have been all in the oil jackets. I didn't get any coolant in these oil jackets, so we are not going to have to do an oil change. So I'm going to go ahead and put that oil cooler on, and we'll start getting it all buttoned back up. Alright, and just so you guys know, if you get a full unit, it does come with an oil filter. So, but you want to check, because you don't want to throw it back on there and it has no filter in there. That would not be good. Get this light in here. Oop. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay, that's on there now. It is a tight fit. Okay, the crazy thing is this just literally sets in there. So those seals are just setting over there. You gotta torque them down on there. Got this back in place. We're gonna have to put these injectors, the harness back on these injectors. I'm gonna get the plenum. Put it back on here. Alright, right now I'm screwing back on that 13mm bolt that holds this metal bracket over here that locks this upper intake in place. There's a big harness that's in the way. That's what makes that one so hard. Here's just this little 10mm bolt. Alright, we'll put the intake back on. We'll get that fender buttoned up and put the coolant back in here. Alright, there's the intake. Okay, so we got everything back together, got the oil cooler on, we put all the lines back, all the harnesses, put the wheel back on. So now we're gonna add the coolant back in. And the good thing about this system is they got this little bleeder valve here. So usually what I've noticed is when I turn that valve, if I'm adding coolant, it'll release the air and get all that air out before I even have to start the car. That's what has been my past experience from doing the water pump and all that kind of stuff on this car. So we're gonna add some coolant in here. We got a strainer here, you can see that, which all the coolant that we took out, we can strain it back in and it'll be clean again. At least there won't be any large particles of anything in there. Alright, I'm gonna open that valve, see if we can hear any air coming. Hopefully we can. You can hear it. Alright. And from my experience, that right there is that bleeding process. Even though I don't have all the coolant back in there yet, that air pocket that was trapped is already moved. And we'll check for leaks and everything when we do that. Alright guys, we're about to start the car and see if there's any leaks or anything going on. All right, go ahead. We're pretty much done, guys. That's it. That's how you get this oil cooler replaced. If you're leaking oil in your Chrysler 200, it's most likely going to be coming from this oil cooler that's up under this intake. So that all the tools are in the video. Let me know how you guys liked it. Hopefully this will help somebody get through some of the headache of doing this. And I'll keep you guys updated, man. All right.